Paltrocast.
The first question I have is, what do I call you? Kelly, Killer Kelly, Double K? What do you like to be called?
Whatever you want. It can be Kelly. Everyone calls me Kelly. Yeah. So whatever you want, whatever you prefer.
I'm calling you Kelly. You had a great match at Hard to Kill. Sorry, it did not end up the way that you wanted, but that was a pretty long running championship run you had.
182 days.
Yeah, not the only championship run you've ever had, but your first US based championship run. Did
Yeah.
that change your life in any way?
Yeah, it was really, really special. And it was even better being like Impact world title. It wasn't just a random promotion. My first big US title. It was Impact. So it's a huge deal. And I'll hold it very, very dearly to my heart.
Yeah, so it was part of the show where the world saw that it was TNA again. Every surprise appearance got a lot of headlines. So it was a big show a lot of people saw. How much of what, and I don't need spoilers, but how much of the surprises did you know in advance of the people going through the curtain?
None. I literally, I was backstage and I saw Nick. I was like, what the hell is he doing here? Oh my God. Is he about to do a run in? So that was crazy. And I randomly saw Ash just walking backstage. I was like, oh my God, what is happening tonight? This is crazy. Like I didn't even know I had a match as well. So it was a day full of surprises.
Right. So there's new blood to the roster in a good way. Is
Mhm.
MK Ultra over? Are you going the singles route? Any idea?
MK Ultra is never over. MK Ultra is forever.
Forever. Now that's one of the greatest tag team names ever. When did you kind of realize that your initials spelled that out?
To be perfectly honest, so it was a friend of Masha that actually helped out with the name. And only when he said that we were like, oh yeah, Masha and Kelly. Ah, it makes all the sense in the world. So it's like a perfect name with everything. Everything. It's just it just suits us so well.
So long term, do you want to be a tag team competitor, or are you happy switching it up where sometimes you're the star of the match?
I do love being in MK Ultra. Is I've I have this is the most fulfilling I've ever felt in my career. And me and Masha, we're such a good pair, and the chemistry is undeniable. We work so well as a team. You can see it in ring. You can see videos that we make, the photos that we take. We are just a tag team through and through, and we have another goal. Like we were the longest reigning Impact tag team champions, 182 days. So now our goal is to be the longest reigning TNA. So we need to recapture those titles and make history once again.
I hope that happens. And going back to this is something I have no idea about. Growing up in Portugal, what
Yeah.
exposure did you have to TNA wrestling? Was it on a normal network?
It actually wasn't. The exposure that I had was um some friends had some VHSs and then later on DVDs. And I started watching it. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Literally my first exposure was Gail Kim. So I was used to seeing her on WWE television, and then I saw her on TNA. I was like, oh my gosh, she's here. Oh my God, I have to watch this. This is crazy. This is amazing. And then I got introduced to the beautiful people. And I was like, oh my God, I absolutely love this. This is amazing. And now I'm part of TNA.
This is a compliment more than a question, but Impact or TNA, whatever it's been called, has always been the top destination for women's wrestling. No
Yeah.
one has ever said, hey, book the women better. No one has ever said that about Impact or TNA.
Nope, nope. It is a great division, and we are treated like the athletes and performers that we are, and there's a lot of belief in us and trust in us, and we keep delivering. So that's
Right.
why we have the spots that we have. We're one of the greatest women's divisions.
My opinion, the greatest. But
Thank you.
back to you here. What exposure did you have to the United States before moving here for wrestling in general? Had you been here on vacation, or were you just thrown to the lions and had to learn everything trial by
Uh,
fire?
actually, one of my first exposures was a little bit before the Mayan Classic. So I came here for a little bit, so that was the max, and I was in Maryland, so it was more like country than anything else. So that was my first exposure, and then I came over to Orlando for the Mayan Classic. I was like, "Oh my God, okay, this is America." And then the pandemic happened, and I finally moved here, and it's quite different from Europe. It is very, very different.
I heard, and you'll tell me if I'm totally wrong and ignorant, but I heard that there's a part of Orlando where you could speak Portuguese. And yes, it's Brazilian Portuguese, but you could get by just speaking Portuguese in one random part of Orlando. Is that true?
I've heard of it. I haven't been to the area, but every now and then I go to stores and stuff like that, and I hear a lot of Portuguese, Brazilian. So there's a lot of people from Brazil here, a lot.
And we love them, of course.
Of
Great people.
course.
Of course. So back to you here again. What's life like for you outside of wrestling? Because a lot of the TNA roster, they have a solo album, they act, they have a blog, etc. What's your life like?
Oh my God, I am boring as they come. I absolutely love being at home with my cats, not doing anything, and just watching all the movies and all the shows. And that I have a quite boring life, and I enjoy it.
So you stay out of trouble on purpose.
Yes, yes, not on purpose. It's just the way I prefer it. The last people I see, the better.
That's good to hear. So any goals long term in TNA besides recapturing the Knockouts championships?
Well, it's to recapture, to become the longest champions, and, just be part of history, just be part of matches that haven't happened yet, like me and Masha with the dog collar match. We made history. We made history as champions. Now it's all about making memories. That's what I want. And TNA, it's the perfect place to do it. So, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more opportunities. And one of my other goals is once we recapture those titles, to defend them all around the world. That is my goal, to go to Japan, to go to Germany,
Mhm.
to to go everywhere, Mexico, and just defend those titles and just, bring even more eyes to the TNA product and to the Knockouts division.
Right. And in terms of TNA, every time you speak to the wrestlers, you have to get the rundown on what shows are coming up next. Because you were just in Las Vegas, but where are we going to see you next? Orlando is on the upcoming
Orlando, yes, it's just across the street. So we're gonna be in Orlando. And I'm telling you,
Canada.
in Canada, we're gonna go to New Orleans. We're gonna go back to Philly. I'm really excited. And many other places to come to be determined.
Okay. So the last two questions before I let you go. The first one is you mentioned personally being a boring person on purpose. Any TV recommendations you could pass along? A show that we should watch because Killer Kelly says it's awesome?
Mindhunter. Mindhunter is one of the best shows that I've ever seen in like a 5 year, 10 year span. Like everyone talks about, I don't know, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things. Mindhunter is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life, and I really hope they bring it for season 3. They were saying that they weren't, and now there's talks to that they're actually bring it back. Like, it's one of the best shows, the best.
Tim?
As you can see, like, I have a huge love for, all things serial killers. Just so you see, on my coffee table right here,
Sure.
and,
So it's not just a gimmick. This is a
gotta
compliment,
get
Kelly. You turned a hobby into a career.
it. Yes, I did.
So you're the nicest serial killer around. That's what we're learning.
Yes.
And the last thing before I let you go, some people don't keep up all the social media accounts. They go, hey, I'm an Instagram person. I won't do the
Yeah.
others, or I do the TikTok. What's the best way to follow you anytime we want to know where you are and what we should know?
So on Twitter, I'm Kelly_WP. On Instagram, I'm Kelly Wrestling. On Facebook, I think I'm Kelly Wrestling as well. And on X, oh my God,
Twitter
Threads.
X. Yeah, yeah.
Threads, I am Kelly Wrestling. I'm pretty sure. And of course you need to follow TNA Wrestling on all the social media. It's Impact Wrestling on every single social media, and then you'll know where and when MK Ultra will pop up.
Paltrocast.